Okay, I got a story about road rage, about me getting into road rage. I got a story about bananas. And the main point to my video is about meditation, which is what led to the road rage, probably. But I'm definitely not enlightened. But I never would have imagined I would be here talking about meditation. I'll tell you that much. I used to think I was meditating when I was washing the dishes, which is, I guess, a form of active meditation, but it's nothing even close to what I've experienced. And since that depression last year in November of, before of 2018, I've meditated from that point till now, which is a year straight, every single day, twice a day. And now I'm just like hooked, man. I'll be doing it the rest of my life from the benefits that I've found from it. So, and that's what I wanted to share with you. If you meditate already, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, or if you've tried it and you got bored with it, I can explain that later too. But yeah, I'll tell the stories, the funny stories later, embarrassing stories later, which are tie into this. But first, I just wanted to share what I experienced for the last year and few months. So what I've been practicing is mindfulness meditation, which is the main one you hear about. It's been practiced for thousands of years because it works, and but it's just you basically become aware of everything in your immediate surroundings, from the sounds that you're hearing to sensations in your body. Your breathing is the classic, and you just sit and take a moment. I do it like a half hour in the morning and a half hour in the afternoon, and it just sounds ridiculous that you just sit there and do nothing, but you really do. It's incredible the benefits from sitting and doing nothing, as your mind is racing so much all the time. And that's what it helped me at first. Those if you have any kind of major depression, definitely start meditating, because it really really helps to separate you from your thoughts, and thoughts are what give us trouble. So, but just on the basic level, my immune system's gotten better. I noticed that I didn't get sick at all this year. No colds, no flu. I feel healthier. My intuition has come back tenfold. It's not just around my music. The name of this channel came from a meditation. Words popped in my head. Music for the Melancholy, and just it's incredible the things that come to you. All sorts of personal growth things that I've discovered, which are a lot of them are too embarrassing. If you practice it yourself, you realize the stories I'm going to tell you coming up are embarrassing, but the personal growth stuff, you just that's your own business. If you get into meditation and use it for personal growth, you know what I mean. It goes pretty deep, but that's what's helpful about it, because you break through all the barriers that you had before, and it's just incredible how much it helps to break through as far as personal growth is concerned, because I'd been studying and theorizing in my head for 30 years, trying to cope with anxiety, depression, whatever, just career problems. And just this last year has been like just a quantum leap in understanding, as far as just being able to step back and get some perspective finally. And that's what mindfulness meditation does for you. So if you aren't meditating, I would say, if you're looking for something to just relax your mind and, improve your immune system, it's perfect. But if you're into personal growth and you have certain, things that are bothering you, maybe just life changes you're trying to go through, it's really, really helpful for that. And my whole life has changed, I got to say, in the last year. I realize I've been into philosophical thinking since I was a kid, And I realized that my philosophical thoughts have just turned inward. Now I'm philosophizing about myself. It's basically personal growth is getting philosophical about yourself, trying to find the meaning of yourself. And the good thing is you can actually find some answers in yourself if you look for them, and it changes your life. Where the philosophy I used to practice, just thinking about the universe and life in general, fuck, there's no answers in that. But I'm just kidding. Well, there's people that think they have answers, but at least looking into yourself, you can and make changes in your life. So that's just the basic, level where I got. But after about 4 months, I had kind of a satori, I think they call it. And the Buddhists, they describe getting into a certain state, and you can really start to reach some different levels if you want to. You can't just meditate just to relax and separate yourself from your thoughts, and it's great for that. But if you want to take it to a deeper level, you can. And I realized, pretty quickly that it was helping me to grow. So I got an analogy that I came up with that helped me to explain for myself, like the difference between who I really am, I think, inside, who we all are, and our thoughts. And I just started to realize when you get in your car, you have all this knowledge of how to drive. The cars are manufactured. Where you're going. All these things that just layers and layers of thoughts and understanding and knowledge about driving. But when you were a kid, you got in that same car or a car like it, and you had no idea what anything in front of you was. But yet you were aware of what's now called the steering wheel. You were aware of the front windshield. You were aware of the world outside that windshield. You were aware of everything around you and what it felt like to be there. So when you meditate, you start to feel that separation again, like you were when you were a kid, that essential part of yourself that's just aware of the world around you and aware of your thoughts. You're aware of everything. You're aware of, and you can't even have a thought without your awareness. So it really helps to separate yourself from your thoughts. But that's where it gets down the wormhole a bit, because you realize it's like being in that, like on the Truman Show, where he's on that boat, and at the very end where he's touching that blue wall at the end of the world as he knows it, and realizes it's not the sky, it's a wall. And when you start to separate yourself from your thoughts, you realize that your thoughts were things that just you learned, and your beliefs are thoughts that are a group of thoughts put together to justify your bias. So you start to realize and question a lot of the thoughts you have, and a personal growth level, man, it's changed my whole life. Everything. That's why I started doing these videos. I just started questioning everything that I was doing and realizing that a lot of things I wasn't even sure about. I wasn't even sure was true, and just to be open to something new like this, it's a perfect example. Is I would have never done this before, but to stop believing it was true, that this wasn't available, that I couldn't do it, that I was afraid to do it or whatever. So all these things are changing my life. Anywhere I see a part of my life that's not working, I start to question and realize it just comes back to me believing that I couldn't, or that I shouldn't, or that I can't, or that something, it's just, we're in our own way. And, I'll speak for myself. I was in my own way in so many different ways, and I still am. Now I'm working on, I'm not going to get into the personal, real deep personal stuff, because it's embarrassing. It's more embarrassing than the road rage and banana story, but I'll tell you that in a minute. And you'll think, more embarrassing than that? Oh my God. But it is, and if you start trying this yourself, all these things will come up from your past. All the things you're trying to avoid will come up because you're just busy. You're on Facebook, you're, working, you're taking care of kids or whatever you got in your life, and which is all necessary. I'm not saying it isn't, but to take a half hour out of your day to just sit and basically be aware all these things start percolating up that you've been putting off, and man, it's some heavy stuff. And I guess I don't guess, I know the eventual place that people get to with meditation is enlightenment, which I'm definitely not there yet. I got too much road rage. But let me just say now, conspiracy theorists and conspiracies crack me up more than ever, because I realize the biggest conspiracy is in ourselves. And if you start to meditate and really, don't just use it as a relaxation technique, but to start to look inside yourself and question your beliefs and thoughts, you realize that it's a house of cards. And that's the other side of it that I wanted to share, is that that's why if you tried meditation, you probably got bored with it very quickly and talked yourself out of it. Unless had a reason to, or you're just a freak like me. And I was wondering why it's so difficult to do. And some days are really hard and you just feel like you just don't want to do it anymore. And you get into these funks and stuff, you have to really push yourself through. And there's a thing, scientific analysis called homeostasis, that our psyches will just, homeostasis happens in all sorts of different areas of life, different systems in life. But as far as your psyche goes, your psyche wants you to stay who you think you are, and your beliefs, that you've accumulated, think you are. So you start to step back from that and realize that your thoughts and your beliefs are separate from you as a witness. And man, your psyche starts to fight back, and it's also called ego backlash. I'm trying to think of examples. Just you just get in funks, and you feel like crap, and you just don't want to do it anymore. It's like exercise. Your body's resisting exercise, and your mind resists meditation. So just be prepared for that. If you're gonna, I had a real reason to do it, and it drove me to do it because I was fighting for my freaking life with that depression. But if you're just gonna try it, if you're comfortable the way you are, which even if you're miserable, you're probably still comfortable with it. That's what I realized. All the misery I've had in my life, I was very comfortable with. You have an emotional payoff for a lot of the things that you're causing. And like I said before, there's this homeostasis and ego backlash that keeps trying to stop you from realizing that. Point that people reach with this understanding is enlightenment, where they say you come to this conclusion that you just basically don't exist. You have no real identity. It's all a construct of the mind. And on a theoretical level, I can tell you this here, and you can go, oh, that's kind of interesting, and you can think about it. But I guess these guys that practice meditation and deep meditation for days on end, all day long, they've reached that point where they just don't exist anymore, and they become one with the universe and with everybody around them. Which I really don't see the practical point in living my life that way. I really don't have any aspirations of becoming a guru, even if I could. And I honestly, it would take 50 years, another 50 years to unwire all the neurosis I have. So I think I'll just use it for the benefit of knowing that, being aware that you're separate from your thoughts. You can go in and start to recalculate, your beliefs and thoughts, and see which thoughts and beliefs are limiting you. And that's what I've been doing this last year, and my whole life's changed because of it. So I gotta tell you the road rage story about me getting into a road rage incident, which I'm not promoting at all. It's very embarrassing, but it's just funny in contrast to me meditating for a year and then getting into a road rage incident. But it was Thanksgiving, and I'm all distracted. Me and Lana are behind. We're running late, and we're going up to see my family in Jerome, which is a couple hours away. And we only got a couple hours to drive, and we got to go to Circle K and the grocery store, and it's just we're all stressed, and it's just like a what was it? Ram Dass unfortunately passed away this year, but he had a saying it always stuck in my mind. He said, "You think you're Zen? Go spend the weekend with your family," which is very funny. Nothing against my family, I love them, but they know how I feel because they probably feel the same way about me. They know all your buttons, man. And so I'm just stressed about Thanksgiving to begin with. And I think everybody is, and everybody's running around trying to run errands before they go to dinner. And we stopped at Circle K and we got some snacks and stuff. And I was hungry already. I didn't want to wait 2 hours. And so we were heading up to go to the grocery store, and we're pulling out of Circle K. And this big truck comes behind me and starts beeping the horn at me. And I'm pulling out. I'm not pulling out. I'm just sitting there waiting. And there's cars passing me. I can't go. The guy should be able to see I can't go. And he's beeping at me again. I'm like, look, dude, what's up? It's beeping at me again. And I can't go. I can't go, man. I can't go. I start getting really pissed. And I'm like flipping the guy off. I see his door opening like he's going to come at me or something. And then there's a opening, and I just pull out, and I'm like saying all this stuff, freaking asshole. I mean, it's the whole road rage bit, and which is very funny. I've been meditating for a year, and I lost it. So twice a day for a year, every day. Oh, fuck. Anyway, so I'm driving down the road, and I'm kind of waiting for the guy to come up next to me to like see who it was, because he pulled behind me now. And I'm like, dude, what kind of asshole beeps his horn at you when you're sitting there and you can't go, and they can see you can't go, and they're beeping their horn at you, and like, what an ass, And then he wouldn't pull up next to me because he's kind of backing off, and I was like, he's a freaking coward. I'm saying stuff like this. So we pull into the grocery store. Lana gets out and goes to go get the drinks or something for the holiday. And I'm sitting there, and I start kind of meditating, man. I'm going to relax. This is, bullshit. I'm kind of embarrassed that I got pissed off in the first place. And I'm like, man, I'm actually hungry. That's why I'm pissed. Where's that banana and granola bar that I bought? And I realized they were on the roof of the car. Yeah. So the guy was trying to help me. The guy was trying to help me to let me know. He was going to get out of his car, and he probably thought I was insane. Thought I was crazy. That, this guy's losing it, man. I'm just trying to help him. He's got a banana on his roof. So I had a banana and a granola bar. What more liberal? This guy was probably a, Trumper, and here's this liberal up ahead of him with it. It could have been a latte and a piece of avocado or something. He couldn't get any worse than a banana. Banana and a granola bar. I guess Trumpers like bananas and granola bars, but anyway, they love Trump too. So man, was I embarrassed, and I was sitting there just, oh god. I tell Lana when she comes back out, and she's like teasing me, you're angry liberal. You angryliberal.com. You get very mad over this thing, man just trying to help you with banana. And so we go up to Thanksgiving. I told my family, and it was this big, joke for the Thanksgiving. It actually lightened things up. It was kind of funny. And we all, they got to laugh at my expense, but it was an interesting debate over dinner that how do you know that they're, beeping at you if you forgot that was on your roof? You don't know there's a banana on your roof. And like if they're beeping and there's cars ahead of you, I'm not sure. The guy probably realized that he thinks I'm, he doesn't realize. And how are you going to tell him? And I honestly could have been, if I was a freaking freak with a gun, I could have shot him over a freaking banana on my roof. So I think it's a great analogy for life, and just that realization I came to in meditation this year. That I needed to meditate a lot more to stop my road rage, but just the fact that what you think things are, as your everything that you believe right now and think it's true, if you start to question, you realize it might not be what you think it is. You might have a banana on your roof. So anyway, watch out for that. So the banana story kind of is the road rage story, but just to add on top of that, then Christmas comes, and Lana's mom comes, and the Russians want to go to Vegas, which seemed like a strange thing to me. And I was joking with my family that we're just sick of the consumerism here. We're going to Vegas for Christmas. And actually had a great time. Lana's sister and mom and her, and they're fun to travel with, and just had an awesome time. But so didn't see my family for Christmas. So my sister writes right before we leave to Vegas, right before Christmas, and says, "What's your dress? I'll send you a Christmas present at least. If we're not gonna be together." And I'm like, I thought we canceled Christmas and we don't have to get anything for each other, but so now I got to get something. So I couldn't think of what to send them, or it was right before we're leaving. I was kind of in a hurry, and I thought, it'd be funny. I'll send him a bundle of bananas. And I have a very weird sense of humor, I know. And then I got the better idea that I'll write on all these bananas. I got angryliberal.com, and it's very funny because it looks like a bruise. Looks like they're bruised, but it's a Sharpie. angryliberal.com. I had another one that said Merry fucking Christmas. And, the Angry Liberal says, Lori and Mike. I wrote all over the bananas, put it in a box, and ship it off to Jerome, which is only, like a couple hours away from here. And I thought, what could go wrong? And so then Lori goes on some tour. My sister goes on a tour or something, she's all over the, all over the state. She's playing different gigs, and she's doesn't get back for a freaking week. And I come back from Vegas, and she still hasn't got the Christmas present yet. And I'm like, oh, God, what's gonna happen? And she finally goes to her, PO box. And I guess the clincher of the story, the punchline of the story, is what the mailbox lady said when she went to pick up her mail. It said, "Your mail is oozing." So they couldn't even read anything on the bananas. It just was they were all black and oozing out of the box. And they got their Starbucks card, but pretty funny though. I mean, I should have known something was going to go wrong, but at least we got a good laugh out of it. It was funny to laugh about my road rage story over Thanksgiving, and I definitely learned from that. But now I know never to ship bananas in the mail. So you freaking lost your bananas? Hey, Bella. I'm all right. My sense of humor's warped. You probably never want to meditate. Now that you've heard the end of this story, you won't want to meditate now. But hopefully, I've shed some light on it if you have never tried it. And honestly, it's been the best thing I've ever done, is to start meditating. Never thought just sitting there doing nothing would be a beneficial part of my life. But man, it's changed everything for me. So enjoy.
I woke inside a dream I had in this world. Imagine what I could have been before I was right, before this illusion was easy to convince myself that I know. But how could I know? And what happens to a soul beyond this life? And what happens to the gods when this world dies? And what's beyond this existential crisis?